welcome to today's video. Today I wanted to share kind of a life update with you. Nathaniel and I have had a rough couple weeks. I just wanted to explain some of what's been happening. We did experience a second pregnancy loss. I was 6 weeks along when I had a natural miscarriage. So yeah, I just want to talk a little bit about what the pregnancy was like, and then what happened in the last couple weeks, and then what we're going to do moving forward. So I found out I was pregnant on February 10th. I think it was the day my period was supposed to come. I took a pregnancy test and it was positive. It was a really faint positive, but it was still positive. We were really excited. I had planned a special way to tell Nathaniel, but that didn't end up happening. He ended up asking if I was pregnant, and I just told him yes. But we were really, really excited. Yeah, we were just really excited, and I was about 3 weeks and I don't know how many days, I can't remember. So I found out pretty soon because, like I said, I took a test the day my period was supposed to come. My period never came. I called the doctor, or I took another pregnancy test a couple days later, and it wasn't really getting darker. And I was a little bit worried about that, but I thought maybe it's fine, maybe it's too early. I went in, I emailed my doctor, I asked to get my betas checked. I went in on a Tuesday and got my blood drawn. My betas were at 36, which was, my doctor said, was consistent with very early pregnancy, and I had read online that that was in the normal range. I wasn't super worried about it being too low because, like I said, I was very early on. I went back that Thursday, got my betas drawn again, found out Friday morning that they doubled, they were 80, so yeah, everything looked good at like 4-ish weeks pregnant, and I kind of went through the math of what it would be like if my betas kept doubling, and it kept staying in the normal range as it kept doubling the number, so I knew if they kept doubling everything would be fine. But I didn't get another check because I didn't really need to. I had a phone appointment following that. I just did a quick background. I think they had most of my info from last time, so I didn't have to do as long as a phone appointment as this last pregnancy I had, since this isn't my first pregnancy. And then I set an appointment for March 14th for my 8-week ultrasound. I would have been 8 weeks and 1 day on the 14th. And after that, everything seemed pretty normal. I was really, really tired. That's the thing I noticed that was different this pregnancy, is I almost could feel it a little bit more. I felt really drained. I don't know if that's because I was working longer hours this time. Last time when I was pregnant, I was only working part-time. I think it was summer, so I was only working I think I was working 7:15 to 12:45. So a pretty short shift, and this time I've been working 8:30 to 4:30. So I don't know if it was that, and just in the summer it was a little bit more relaxed, and this year's a lot more active. It's the middle of the school year, and I'm working with 2-year-olds, and the day is long in general. I'm always kind of tired anyway, but I was really, really exhausted. I had some food aversions, nothing too crazy. I ate a lot of mac and cheese, the Panera at Home brand mac and cheese. That's kind of what I lived off of for quite a few nights. I didn't end up cooking very much. I feel like we just got easy stuff at Walmart or went out to eat just because I was so tired, and I wasn't drinking any coffee. I didn't have any caffeine this time. I think I had 1 Frappuccino, and I think that was it. I was trying not to have caffeine every day. I was trying to make it an occasional thing. So, and I didn't eat anything I wasn't supposed to eat. I kind of followed the rules a little bit better this time, as far as what you're supposed to do and not supposed to do when you're pregnant. You can drink caffeine, that's totally fine. It was a personal choice to only have it once a week. That was kind of my plan. Maybe I could have 1 coffee a week and just have decaf the rest of the time and just really have low amounts of caffeine. So as I got closer to 6 weeks, I was kind of wondering when morning sickness would start. I never got any morning sickness. I was thinking it was probably going to be too early, and it hit at some point during week 6 or 7. But then when I was 6 weeks and 2 days, I had some spotting. I was at work. I went to the restroom. It was 3:45 in the afternoon. I was almost done with my shift. There was a little bit of spotting, so I freaked out. I went to my coworker that was in the office and told her I was just going to head home early. She knew that I was pregnant. I had told her. And so I said I was going to go home early and just lay down and rest because I was kind of freaking out. And then I called my mom, and I figured it was probably fine. The spotting was maybe light pink, and It wasn't anything like super concerning. It was just the one time and then it was done for the day. But when I woke up the next morning, I had some more spotting. It was red, so I called Kaiser, and so I scheduled an ultrasound that morning, like 9 o'clock or something like that. Like, it was like I was on the phone at 7:30 and I had an appointment scheduled for an hour later, which was really nice that they were so quick. And I didn't get to see my regular doctor. I saw a different doctor in Lincoln, and so she didn't know my history really. I feel like she didn't really know me at all. And so when I went in, and I hadn't been talking to her this whole time. I had been emailing my doctor. I had emailed my doctor when I had the positive. We had talked about the betas, all this stuff. So when I went into this ultrasound, she said I definitely wasn't 6 weeks along. The baby measured 4 weeks and 5 days. You could see the sac. Everything looked good for a 4-week and 5-day-old embryo, which I could see that. I saw that. It was actually kind of cool because she kind of explained like the parts of the embryo and all that stuff. Yeah, so she just said, like, you're not as far along as you think. Like, if you start bleeding, let your doctor know. Like, basically, she kind of seemed to think everything was fine. I was just not as far along as I thought, which I kept thinking. I was like, that's impossible. It's like last time. Like, it's impossible. My dates don't line up. I couldn't have gotten a positive test as early as I did. And I was like, this can't be good because I'm already, like, bleeding. And I, like, really wish I had gotten to see my regular doctor. But it was all right. So that day, Nathaniel and I ended up, we both had the day off work because of the appointment. So we went to Folsom, we went to the aquarium. That's the day that we did that. Just as a day to kind of, I wanted to be distracted. I didn't want to think about it. I just wanted to have fun with him and like have a nice day. But while we were out and about, we did have a really nice time. Like, it was a really good day, but then I started cramping. And I was in like a decent amount of pain. Like, I just wanted to go home and take some pain medication and like go to sleep. And so that's when the cramping and bleeding like kicked up a notch. I started bleeding more while we were out, and I passed some tissue and stuff, so I was kind of like, this isn't good. Like, I almost started crying at lunch because I was just really sad. And like over the course of the weekend, my bleeding and cramping got worse. I took Tylenol, I took ibuprofen, I took pain medication. I took like as much as I safely could, and it wasn't touching the pain. The cramps were still really bad. So it was just really hard. And I went into work on Monday. I ended up asking if I could have someone cover me for the afternoon so I could go home because I was still in a lot of pain. And then Tuesday, I had an appointment. So I emailed my doctor on Sunday telling her that my bleeding and cramping had increased. And she wanted to set me up right away for an appointment. She was able to get me in, I think on Tuesday. I had an appointment with her or something like that, but she ended up getting sick. She ended up calling out, so I had to go to Roseville to a different appointment with a different doctor I didn't know. And at that point I wasn't super confident that anything good was going to happen at the ultrasound. I was hoping for some growth and that everything was okay, and maybe I just had like I forget what it's called, like a hematoma or something like that, that makes you bleed. But with the cramping, I wasn't really sure. And at that point, I hadn't really passed many like clots or tissue or anything like that. So I wasn't sure what was going to happen at that ultrasound. I was hoping for something, but I don't know. I wasn't super confident. And so when she did the ultrasound, she showed me, and I could tell that the thing, the sac was like broken up, and she just basically showed me like, this is debris, whatever. And then she kind of said like, you have a couple options, that kind of thing. She said like medication, DNC, and she seemed to recommend the DNC because I asked her, since I'm already bleeding and cramping, like, can I just see if everything passes naturally, all that. And she kind of said there's risk associated with that, like you can hemorrhage, there's infection. And so I just was like, okay, schedule me for a DNC. That's fine. I've done it before. I'll do it again. Like, I know what to expect, and that's okay. So I ended up scheduling a DNC for this last Tuesday. Actually, that's today. The day that I'm filming this is Tuesday the 12th. And so I had scheduled my DNC for today. And so I kind of prepared for it. I emailed my doctor because I hadn't gotten any prescriptions from the doctor I saw, which I thought was weird, like no antibiotics or anything. So I emailed my own doctor, asked about prescriptions. She said she would send some in. I got antibiotics, I got pain medication for after the DNC, all of that. And she mentioned that at my appointment that I had with her on the 14th, I would still go to that appointment and we would talk about testing and doing some testing now that it was my second loss in a row, which was good because the general thing I think is that you wait 3 miscarriages before you test, but luckily she didn't want to wait for me to have another loss and thought we should start testing now. So I'm actually going to go get blood work later today for that. I got my prescriptions, I got prepared, I planned easy dinners for Nathaniel to make. I bought easy stuff that I can make myself for lunch. I got Gatorade, I got stuff to make sure I stayed hydrated. Yeah, I just feel like when I went to the grocery store, I just prepared for a week of just being in pain, being in bed, all that. I took this week off work. I felt really prepared, like physically, for the D&C, and then, yeah, I kept bleeding Tuesday and Wednesday. I passed a lot of clots, so I kind of knew, like, okay, yeah, things are definitely, like, over, and that was really sad. And then my bleeding stopped on Friday. It stopped, it was like a period. I bled for like a week, and it was a little bit like heavier than a period, or like the same as a period, and then with more clots and stuff like that, obviously, because there's more tissue when you're pregnant. So I stopped bleeding, and I didn't have any bleeding on Saturday, so I ended up emailing my doctor, and I just said, like, hey, do they check before you have your D&C to make sure that there's nothing, like, there's still stuff in there, because I feel like my bleeding stopped, maybe, like, there's nothing left. And she said it'd be better to come into the clinic so we can free up that space in the procedure clinic. So I ended up scheduling an appointment with her yesterday on Monday. At 9:15 I went in, and she did an ultrasound, and everything was gone. Like, it was basically empty, I think she said. So, like, I didn't need the D&C, so she called and canceled that for me, so I don't have that today. And then she talked to me about testing. She told me what kinds of things they're going to test. So I'm going to go in for blood work this morning. I haven't eaten anything. I wasn't supposed to eat for however many hours. It's a fasting test, some of it. I think it's fasting, probably fasting glucose. So there's some hormonal things they're going to check. Thyroid. She's going to check my vitamin D because I was curious about that. And then she's going to do some, like, karyotype or something like that, like some genetic testing, see if there's anything genetic that I'm passing down that could be causing miscarriage. So they're going to be testing for a bunch of stuff. And she said I'll see those results as they come in, but I won't have a follow-up with her until they're all the results are back. Some of them, she said, takes like a week or 2 weeks, so I'm guessing that's more the genetic testing that takes a while. I know, like, the thyroid testing and the vitamins and stuff only take like a day or two. So when I go to that follow-up appointment, I'll do another update just to let you all know the results of that. Hopefully, I don't know. I'm hoping for nothing, and that this was just like a fluke thing. I had 2 losses in a row by chance, and that next time we're pregnant, we have a healthy pregnancy and everything's fine. But it also would be good to know what's wrong if something's wrong, and hope that it's like an easy fix, like a vitamin deficiency, like something where I can take like a supplement, something easy. So we also can know that our next pregnancy will be healthy. So that's like kind of where we're at, like medically speaking. It was definitely really physically hard, and I was at work like the whole time this was happening, working, aside from those 2 half days, I was there all day long with my little kiddos, and it was definitely physically hard because I was in a lot of pain. I was just really exhausted, really drained. So when I found out I didn't need the D&C, I actually texted my boss yesterday and told her, I was like, I don't need a D&C, I can come in this week, but I'd really still like to take this time off if that's okay, since you already have me covered. And she said that's fine, like, as long as nothing crazy happens, like, that'd be totally fine. So I'm still taking this week off just to take a break, just because in August when we had our miscarriage, I didn't take any time off really. I took the day of my D&C off, and then I was back on Monday for Meet the Teacher night, and like we had some short days because it was teacher training, but I didn't take any time off to heal, like, physically or emotionally. So I felt like this time I really wanted to take some time off and take a break this week and just hang out at home. I mean, I'm still gonna do stuff like clean and like do things around the house and do work things like lesson planning, all that, but I just wanted to take some time to like kind of be by myself, not have to worry about taking care of 10 other little people, and just not have to worry about being like on, if that makes sense. Like when I'm at work, I need to like focus on my kids and play and have fun and do all these things, and it's hard to do when you're feeling really sad or when you're depressed. when you're having a hard time and you're going through something, it's really hard to be like a teacher, especially with little kids. Because I just need to be there for them and focused on them. And so I just thought it'd be nice to have this week off to not have to worry about that. And Nathaniel has tomorrow off, so I think we're going to go do something fun, like just spend time together. We went to the movies last night. And so I just kind of want to take a break for myself to just relax, just rest. Just lay on the couch and watch TV. Like, I don't know. Emotionally, obviously this has been difficult. I feel like I'm taking it slightly better than the last time, maybe because I saw it coming and I knew what to expect. The first time it was just like a shock because everything had seemed fine up until our first ultrasound, but this time with the bleeding, like I knew my body was doing something and I knew something was going on and something was wrong. So I feel like I felt better prepared. I think Nathaniel was taking it harder this time. So it's almost like we've kind of swapped. He's been kind of down and sad about it, but other than that, I'm not really sure how he's feeling, and I can't really speak for him. I just know how I'm feeling, and yeah, I'm really disappointed. But I know after this testing, once we kind of decide what we want to do moving forward, I don't know if we're going to try again right away. I don't know if we're going to wait a while. I kind of want to wait and get the test results back first. I know it'll be fine and that we'll have a baby someday, but it doesn't make it any easier. And that's been the hard thing, is like, it was kind of easy to find support for the first loss. A lot of people have gone through miscarriage and have gone through the same thing we went through, and then this time it's like kind of harder. I feel a little bit more lonely in it just because most people, they have one miscarriage and then they're able to have a baby afterwards and have a healthy pregnancy afterwards. There are a lot of people who've had like multiple losses, and that definitely happens, and that's why I think they don't test until 3 losses, because 2 can still be kind of common. But just from all the people I know and I talk to, just in real life or in general, they've had like 1 loss and then had a baby after. So it's just hard and feels kind of lonely to know like that's not my story anymore. Like that's not what I have to look forward to, is 1 loss and then a baby after. It's just now it's like, next time, is it going to be another loss? Are we actually going to get to have a baby? Like, it just seems so unknown right now, and that's really hard. I'm hoping the next time I have a pregnancy update, it's an actual pregnancy update and not something like this. But I want to share our story and kind of share what we've been going through. One, because it makes it easier for me to be able to talk about it, and share things that I'm feeling and thinking, like, even just when I'm vlogging. Like, it's been hard to not talk about it and not talk about the doctor's appointments and all the things that we're going through. So it makes it easier to just be open to share a story, and then also hopefully someday someone like me can come across this and know that they're not alone, that there's people who've gone through a couple losses in a row, and it sucks. It just sucks, and I wish we didn't have this story. I wish we were still, pregnant. And that's the hard thing too, is that I lost this pregnancy around the due date of our first pregnancy, so it just felt like double the pain of knowing like we didn't get to have that first baby, and now when we should have been having that first baby, we're losing our second baby. And so yeah, it's been hard. Like I said, I think this time around it's not necessarily easier, but it's different. I wasn't as far along. I was able to miscarry like naturally. Like, things are just different. I think I'm processing things differently and grieving differently, and I know Nathaniel is too. So I don't know what it's going to look like in the next couple weeks, like if I'm going to feel really down or if I'm going to be okay. Like, I don't know what to expect from test results and how that's going to make me feel. So I just feel like right now it's all up in the air. I'm sure I'll update you as time goes on, which is how I'm feeling and all that. For now, I'm sad. I feel really emotionally and mentally drained, and that's why I'm excited to have a break this week. I'm excited to go with Nathaniel tomorrow and do something fun. And I don't know, I think I'm just going to take some time for me this week to just relax and just try to, I don't know, watch dumb movies on Netflix or something. Like, not necessarily try to cheer myself up, because I think this is one of those things you can't really cheer yourself up by watching stupid movies and doing stuff like that, but at least I can like take care of myself in that way and do some self-care. Anyway, this is a really long video. I know I talked a lot about like the process of what happened, and not so much about how I'm feeling just because it's hard to put that into words. But if you watch this and you're going through the same thing, I hope you just feel less alone and like, I don't know. Hope you feel less alone and know that like this happens to other people and it's not just you. And I think the biggest thing I felt is like my body's like failing me, especially having a second loss. Like it just feels like my body's not doing what it's supposed to do. That's how I felt the first time, and that's definitely how I feel the second time. But I know that's not necessarily true. That there may just be something wrong that we need to fix, and it sucks that we didn't know about it beforehand, but I don't know. Or nothing's wrong and it just happened by chance, which is still, that's more frustrating I think than if something were wrong. But I don't know. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to update YouTube and family and friends as to what's been going on, especially because like I feel like we've been kind of like flaky lately in general. Like we've missed a few things because I was pregnant, because I wasn't feeling good, and then because of this, like I haven't been at church lately. We've missed out on our small group. We signed up for a small group and Nathaniel went to one night and I didn't go to any because I was so exhausted from being pregnant, and then all this happened, and it's like I'm probably not going to go this time. I'll probably start like next small group season I'll go to one, but I just feel like, yeah, it seems like we've ditched out on stuff or like haven't been around and things have been kind of weird, but that's just because this is what we're going through. So if we've ditched you or you haven't seen me in a while, that's why. But hopefully things kind of go back to normal soon. And then hopefully next time I'm pregnant, I don't know, I'll probably still be really tired, and that's fine, and I'll figure it out then. But for now, hopefully life can kind of be normal for a little bit. And yeah, so I'll do an update when I get the test results back and let you know what's going on with that, and then kind of what our plan is moving forward. We don't really know that right now. But yeah, that's all. If you want to see more of my videos, they're not always like this, but you can subscribe to my channel. I do cleaning, organizing, just lifestyle vlogs, stuff like that. So, and I talk about this kind of stuff too in my vlogs and other videos. So if you want to see more, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.